the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, and the Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited, NIGCOMSAT, have jointly unveiled the Big Picture, a sweeping reinvention of the nation's digital switchover project. To shed more light on it, we have with us the head corporate affairs broadcasting. No, we don't. We have the DG himself. We have the DG of the National Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Charles Iwebu. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to have you on the show. Tell us again, what exactly is this big picture vision that you have?
Okay, in a nutshell, it's basically a shift from the terrestrial broadcast of the DSO, digital switchover, to a satellite-focused initiative to be able to cover the country all at once, with several innovations on the back of it. That's what the big picture is about.
So instead of individual switching?
Yeah, no, instead of you having terrestrial towers all over, which takes time, takes a lot of resources, you know, funding and all of that, with timelines, you have the digital switchover with satellite, which covers the country from day one.
So,
yes, that's what it's about.
DSO is not a new word.
Yes,
we've been hearing there's going to be a digital switchover. There was a time Mariah came back with so much excitement. Well, 10 years ago, she was like, there's going to be a digital switchover. All of our programs are going to... she was like, all our programs, now we will see the true value, the numbers. So it feels like, okay, another move is coming, but we seem to be hearing the same thing. Now, the big picture sounds interesting, but for those that have been eagerly awaiting the ability to freely use the digital platform to push their content, what is the timeline they're looking at to start seeing this opportunity materialize? Because many of them have waited for a very long time.
Okay. So, you know, let me start from this point. There were a lot of systemic challenges, you know. We've said some of it previously, funding, you know, for right now, you know, conservatively, you need about 3 stars to be able to cover transmission in a state, conservatively.
Just one state? One
state. And it costs about $1 million to set it up. Not talk about operations and all of that, right? None of those, you know, for you to be able to put in that investment, you'll be able to see your return on investment. Now we have about 8 states. They're not getting that, which is why the signal distributors concentrate on the cities where you have the mass. That's where, you know, because you have that running cost, diesel and all of that. You broadcasters face it. So you see, those challenges have come up. Number 2, funding. Number 3, the white paper. When it was drawn up, it was more focused on the technology. Yes, there was mention of content, but it didn't quite talk about how the content will be built, how you have a marketplace, advertising on the back of it, which is what free-to-air broadcasters survive on and all of that. So now we're going back, we're re-strategizing. It's not going to be the way it was before. You know, in talking about the big picture, if I can just give an example, with us partnering with NIGCOMSAT, which is Nigeria for Nigeria, what we're doing is that we're putting up all the channels on satellite. So from day one, rather than where, you know, we'll launch a state.
Let me be sure that, because what Nigerians understood, or what we sold to Nigerians before, is that there'll be 3 major carriers. That instead of turning on your analog, right, your normal antenna system channel, that you throw it away. Now everybody will now have to buy a decoder, right, that is now regionalized. So maybe one is for southwest, one is for northeast, whatever it is, or 3, or anyway. I'm just saying 3 major decoders you buy. Now, with your cable, with your DSTV, with your GoTV, everything will be on that same box. You now subscribe. That's you switching over. Now, you're saying that that is no longer necessary because we're now switching us over from the satellite. Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
How does that play out?
Let me explain the technology aspect of it. So, you're right. With digital terrestrial broadcast, right, what you have is that you need a decoder, the structure the way it is, to be able to have access to those channels in a nutshell.